All right, what's up, everyone? Um, I think if you check the background, you would see the I Am Master Academy uh, watermark. Uh, that's because I can't change the setting, so it has to be there. The I Am Master Academy watermark has to be there. So for any other videos going forward, you're gonna see the watermark there because it's required of every Go Live educator. So today's topic is going to be something more along the lines of psychological because I feel like a bunch of you guys need this. And that topic, which is something I had to deal with, is ego dissolution. Okay, I said I was gonna do a video on this, and I postponed doing a video on this because I was just so busy putting a lot of things together, which is fine. But the major topic is ego dissolution, and why is this a very important topic as a trader, especially as an institution trader? Now the thing is, as institution traders, we can get so caught up on wanting to be far better than the public. You know, we feel like we should be doing way better than every mentor out there that is not ICT, and that's something I also feel because I 100% believe the skill set we have and the knowledge we have is the best thing. Okay, nothing even comes close to 30% of what we have in terms of knowledge of the marketplace, which is why it's only people like us that can do the level of consistency that we do. But now the thing is, it's also a way of dealing with losses. So there comes this expectation that we see ICT go weeks without taking loss. Okay, and then there comes this expectation that we should be able to do the same thing. I don't know if you guys face that, but this is something I definitely face. I face situations whereby I feel like I should take one loss a month, uh, because I feel like I should put myself to higher standards. And one thing I realized, which helped me a lot in my growth from Monday, was when I sent out GBP's dollar sales, which a bunch of you guys got into. Although I say you should risk less, I did 0.5%. But when I go into fiber cells, sorry, cable cells, which is GU cells on Monday, I knew we were gonna take a loss because I then the announcement was like, no, this market is actually bullish. What the heck am I doing? Because I was in a hurry to want to get into the trade and I was excited about wanting to get into the trade, right? So and something actually bothered me was, do you call the close of the trade setup? Because we're very close to loss. We're already like 4%. Sorry, 4 peak drawdown. And I'm like, do I just tell everyone to close that trade, or what do I do now? Because I know this is no longer a high probability setup, and this could likely spike our stop loss. What do we do now? And the one word that kept coming back, which is something I wrote in my journal weeks back when I was studying into materials, a book actually. The one word I wrote was, your ego should not come into trading. And that was the thing I kept saying to myself. Don't let your ego come into trading. Don't let your ego come into trading. So one of the things that fucks me up psychologically most times is ego. I feel like I should not take a loss. So we might go on like 4 or 5 winning streaks, 5 weeks of winnings, and I take a loss. I'm like, and especially if it's something that's so obvious, I was not supposed to do. I beat myself up so much, and it ends up making situations worse. And I just get into a downward spiral where I start to lose belief in myself, and I start to doubt myself, and I start to get scared of taking trades. I'm not even comfortable taking trades because I gave in. I gave in to my ego. I gave in to the emotions. And I told you guys a bunch of time, to be successful trading, you need to be able to accentuate your masculine traits, which is logic and reasoning. Okay, your masculine traits are for every human out there. We all have masculine traits. We all have feminine traits. Men have more masculine traits than women, and women have more feminine traits than men. But when the situation calls for it, we all as individuals can bring out what side, depending on the situation, and that is the mark of a true human who was grown spiritually or mentally. And to succeed in this industry, because you're playing against people who are ruthless in this game, you need to accentuate your masculine traits, which is your goal is to deal solely in logic and reasoning. No chance for emotions, no chance for circling around. Straight logic and reasoning. Take a loss, logic and reason. Now you have to intentionally train yourself on taking losses and get comfortable taking losses, which is one of the little projects that I do when I do my replay. I and a lot of times during when I demo trade on the live account during an active live session, which is usually London. So sometimes, which I don't tell you guys, I'm usually up here in London to try to take a loss and see how that feels and see what I could have done to mitigate that loss. So it's training myself to be comfortable taking losses. Now, it's not going to be a lot of losses, but just to be comfortable taking losses because I'm still at this point whereby I'm not so comfortable taking losses. And if you cannot get comfortable taking losses, you're going to struggle in this industry because you can take 2, 3 losses and you're out for the count. I could take 4 or 5 losses and I'm still good. Okay, I'm still doing fine because I could make that back up in 2 trades. But for a bunch of you guys who don't know how to take losses, let's say you're going for a FCMO verification and you take a loss that week, that could be the end of the month for you. Because now you are depressed and now you allow your failure to get to you. And once that happens, boom, it starts an entire spiral of emotions and you just start going down. You spiral into your emotions and it prolongs the situation. So one of the necessary qualities, again, this session is not going to be more on price action. We've done a lot of that often. So one of the more necessary qualities you need to have as a trader is handling your emotions and dealing solely in logic and reasoning. And that's why I tell every single one of you guys, which was a Twitter post I made the other day. I wrote, the only way you can progress and succeed as a trader is to have a trading plan. If you look at my note right now, I did a lengthy review of my trading plan on Monday. And I reviewed a bunch of things. I did new things from my experience, from the work I'm doing, new styles of execution, getting more accurate. And this is why you see ICT at the level it is right now, because it's built in years of learning from losses and learning from experience, which is the journey I'm on right now, which is also the same journey a bunch of you guys should be on right now. Okay, you're good in your analysis and stuff like that, but there's still areas that needs improving. And your goal should be every single week you should be making improvements. Every single day you should be learning something new. Your goal is to be as good as ICT, if not better, because that's my goal. So if I'm aiming for that, all of you guys should aim for the same thing. Do you know how sometimes sometimes you can kind of get this like God complex, just off right now. Sometimes you can get this kind of God complex, knowing, you know, I could go into the marketplace and know what price is going to do and trade that and make this amount of money. That's how good I am. You know, just an off rant. This is something I deal with, especially when I have a very good trading day. There's lots of things you guys don't see, which I practice behind the scenes. But a bunch of time I'm gonna have a very wonderful trading day. I'm buying and I'm selling at the same time because I know where the market is going to go to and stuff like that. And I'm at the gym. I'm working out just to burn up steam because like that's my routine. That's literally my routine. And I'm at the gym and I'm looking at everyone like, you guys don't know that. I know, yeah, that's a bad thing. But it's just that ego thing. But I usually shut out that noise But then it's fine when you've made your withdrawals on way out of a trade. You can, talk the shit you want to talk, and it's all good because you put in the work, definitely. But when you're in front of the charts, ego is out of the door. You can literally be wrong in your next five setups. And you have to learn how to anticipate that and how to deal with that, not only risk management wise, also psychologically. How can you go through five losses and still be good psychologically? This is why I see, now I know a bunch of you guys on here, you're way better than Sean Lee in terms of trading. You're way better than him. But you see him take losses and he still comes back like nothing happens, which is something I admire of him greatly. Okay? And that's why I can see him build the success that I can build, because he's always confident, regardless if he's taking losses. And when he takes wins, he gets very cocky because he's very self confident in his analysis. But when he takes losses, he does not allow the psychological part to get to him, which is something I need to work on, and which is something a bunch of you guys need to learn how to develop. How to get your ego out of the way when you're trading, and how to deal with losses. So this call is more on ego part, trading, and also losses, because those are absolutely necessary. Now, this might just seem like a boring call, and it's not really that boring. And you want to see some price action, and you want to see some price breakdown, stuff like that. You're definitely going to get that type of video. But this is something that I really feel is very important to see as a trader. Because I said before, I don't want to see you guys trading during FOMC, and a bunch of you guys still went into trades during FOMC. Because I saw your posts on testimonials, and I called it out in New York session on Tuesday that just going to be a bunch of you guys. You're going to take trades, and you're going to post your own testimonials, and everyone's going to think like it's all good. But no, you're not listening to me. I'm your mentor. You came on this to learn from me. Okay? So if you're going to risk your money during a day when the probability is very low, what are you doing? You don't deserve to be a trader. You can't even manage light funds if you're going to trade like that. If you're trading FOMC day, if you're trading NFP day, you're going to find out more times that not you would lose. You would do it. You lose well. If I cannot do that consistently, you cannot. And I'm saying that because you're learning from me. Otherwise, if you do it consistently, I will be learning from you and not the other way around. And that's why you don't risk on your live account, FOMC day, NFP day. Be professional about your money. Be a professional trader, because a bunch of you guys want to get funded, which is the goal. If you don't learn how to trade like a professional, there's no freaking way you're going to be able to sustain. You might get verified on FCMR, and might pass the qualification, but you're not going to sustain that account because you've not developed the proper habits to be successful long term managing funds, which is what I want to correct amongst you guys. That is a very important trait as a trader. Okay, so with that being said, just a very quick breakdown for you guys. I was supposed to do this for the free channel. I don't think I'll do that. I'm actually kind of sleepy right now. It's 10:57 p.m., but I need to work, so I think I'm going to be popping coffee tonight. Hopefully, I can stay awake. But this just feels like a very good night to get some coffee and do some work, which I definitely will be doing. I just gave me this opportunity. But yeah, let's talk about this. Now, whenever to form a trade idea, to form a potential price action opportunity, you need to have one thing in place. That is a target. That target could be in form of a liquidity, order highs, old lows, or in form of a fair value gap, inefficiency, or a volume imbalance. It could be either of those three things. Without a target in place, especially a higher time frame target, there is usually no setup for you intra-week. Now, if institutional flow is bullish, you know it's reaching for a premium rate. Now, this is a daily high, and you've seen the willingness in price to reach for that daily high. Now, what do you think is going to rest above that daily high? Stops. What type of stops? Thumb level stops. Now, here's the catch to this. Really, really important that you guys want to write down. If this was a 1 hour or a 4 hour level, I would not take this trade setup because there could be price potentially correcting, or if it's straight through a little bit, if it's a 15-minute level or a 1 hour level, and it's straight through a little bit, I'd be like, we're out for the count. But because it's a daily level, our rule is 10, at least 10, 20, and 30 pips, which is why I said your TP1 is going to be 1890 level. And that was what we smashed before. We came back and smashed this. And what shall we nail high of the day? If you check the trade idea I sent on the Discord and the trade idea I sent on the free Telegram channel, I had these bunch of lines. How did I derive this line? Go to your central bank Google's range. Um, so, but now the central bank dealers range, I intentionally don't want to teach this because I'm not permitted by ICT to teach that. So I've been holding that off for a long time. So if you, because I know a bunch of you guys I've been asking, when am I going to teach central bank dealers range? Because I do it a bunch of times and you've watched me nail. I don't just like to draw attention to it, but you've watched me nail highs and lows in the market, which is something I practice. So I was able to derive that level from here. Now you can see 4 standard deviations above the short term high. Now the reason why I was looking at I was looking at two arrays to be the either possibly this or this. But now the reason why I favored 4/5, I wish I had made a screenshot on this. The reason why I favored 4/5 was because we had a big figure number at 5. And I wanted to see price just stop short of that big figure number so we can then run to that number the next day, which is Friday, not London session. So if we get a trade set up potentially, maybe we run this low, we run this low. I don't want to see us get back into this range. It's no problem. Okay, if we get back into this range, then we're not looking for buys. But as long as we maintain this swing low to the side, which is a range, we have a range of opportunity to then trade the big figure number and then trade runs on the big figure number. But now, because I wanted to see this hold, then tomorrow we can use that to run that big figure number. That was why I opted for 4 standard deviations above short term high as my target. Now, it's not just one thing, it's a moving target. Okay, it's not just like it's one singular thing and that is my target and that's what I derive. That's not the way it works. Oh, sorry. It's a combination of factors. We have a retracement from this side to this low. You can see it gets there initially. That's 1 standard deviation of this range. And then we have another retracement from this side to this low. That was the trade up it took. This high to the low. And we had this. So we had that, and then I blended it with obviously this, and that was our day. So whenever I see daily highs or daily liquidity, we want to see price trade deeper, which is why I was not looking for any run below the discount low of the fair value gap. That was why I mentioned on the live session we don't want to see low below the discount low of the fair value gap because then that will invalidate our setup. Plus, we had the confirmation of a market maker trap, which is left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Is going to be stops above this. And I did a range projection for you guys. I said, let's project this low to the side. That's typically the way it is whenever we run uh, head and shoulders. Project a range from this low to this high. And you can see that that gives us a target, right? That's literally one one Fibonacci number or 100 extension. So if you did your Fibonacci like this, it will give you what I just did. That's this. Okay, so uh, and also lastly, whenever you see fair value gaps being left and price runs higher, okay, like fair value gaps not being completely filled. Okay, whenever you get a situation where you have an institutional outflow entry drill or price trades to the consequent pressure of a gap, that is usually an indication that there's massive institutional sponsorship and you are in the right direction. Okay, that is usually an indication. So you don't expect to see price trade back into the range. Okay, so yeah, I think that wraps up today's call. I'll title the call "Ego Dissolution" because that was something that's been on my mind for a while, and I wanted to talk about that. If you have any questions, just ask me on the Lazarus program. I'll be going through the questions tomorrow morning, and because I'm still going to make another video tomorrow on another topic, which I don't want to divulge in the call. So just let me know. With that being said, guys, I hope you guys all have a wonderful evening. I'll see you all tomorrow for London training session. Be safe.